Hi friends, welcome to Beautifully Bookish Bethany. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated sci-fi and fantasy books coming out in 2026. This is always one of my favorite series of videos to do, is different genres of books that I'm really excited for. So today I have a list of 26 sci-fi or fantasy books coming out in the coming year that I'm excited about and that I want to put on your radar. But first, you might remember 2 years ago, I collaborated with Ana Luisa, this amazing jewelry company based in New York that does affordable gold and silver jewelry pieces that are made to last, made to be worn every day. And they reached out to me asking if I would be interested in working with them again and showing you how some of those pieces that I got 2 years ago have held up. This was a really easy yes for me because I wear their jewelry almost daily. So today I'm wearing 2 of the pieces that I got from them in that initial collab 2 years ago, but I have purchased more on my own. I will continue to wear their pieces. I think they're beautiful. So today I am wearing this necklace, which I love. I think it's really beautiful. 2 years old. I wear this several days a week and it's held up amazing. And then these really cute little earrings, a lot of people love them. I have a nickel allergy, so I have really sensitive ears, and these have held up amazing. I've never had any problems. 2 years later of wearing them all the time, I've slept in them, worked out in them, showered in them. At least the earrings, maybe not the necklace, but like they're still in great shape and I love them. So their Black Friday sale is happening now and it is their biggest sale of the year. There are pieces up to 30% off and you can get some incredible pieces. I have a link down below if you're interested in shopping for yourself or gifting for others that I hope you will use. And thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this video and sending me a couple new pieces to add to my collection. I genuinely really love their jewelry. You can look at my Instagram page and I wear it and tag it all the time. So definitely recommend. I think it's really high quality, long lasting jewelry that you can wear daily. With that said, let's go ahead and get into my list of 26 sci-fi and fantasy books that I am excited for coming in 2026. We are going to go in order by release month, and do keep in mind that this is all tentative. Release dates change all the time, so this is best of my knowledge as of the filming of this video. First, in January, I just have one book to talk about. This is Through Gates of Garnet and Gold by Seanan McGuire. It is the latest installment in the Wayward Children series. We are many books deep into this now, but it's one of my favorites. I always love these books. They are portal fantasy and follow different characters. This is going back to Nancy, fan favorite character for people who know, and I plan to read it very soon. I'm excited for it. I will always read these books, so we generally get an installment in January. This one's coming soon. For February, there are currently 4 books on my radar. First is Until the Clock Strikes Midnight by Alicia Dow. This is pitched as The Good Place meets the Brandy version of Cinderella. It is a YA cozy romantic fantasy from an author who I love. She writes really great YA and middle grade science fiction and fantasy and sometimes mysteries with a little bit of a magic element. But this sounds so good. The Good Place meets Cinderella. I feel like it's going to be delightful and really sweet. Next is Queen of Faces by Petra Lord. A desperate girl at a cutthroat magical academy faces a choice between life and death: become an assassin for the enchanted elite or watch her decaying body draw its last breath. This is a queer novel by a queer author. I believe it has trans rep in it. The cover looks gorgeous. Definitely one I'm interested in picking up. Then I have Weaving Shaw by Haba El Wasiti. This comes out February 24th from Del Rey. Beware the promise of Weaving Shaw, a crumbling estate tainted by blood, a girl haunted by ghosts, a seller of secrets handsome and doomed. A dark romantic tale begins. So this is like gothic fantasy, dark romance elements from a Middle Eastern author. Sounds really good. It sounds right up my alley. Maybe it'll be up yours as well. Excited to read that. Lastly, in February, we've got The Daughter Who Remains by Nnedi Okorafor. This is the 3rd and final volume in the She Who Knows trilogy. This is a series of novellas set in an African futurist world. She writes incredible science fiction novels, and I have loved this novella series. I've read the first 2. I will definitely read the 3rd one. If you haven't tried Nnedi Okorafor, I cannot recommend her enough. March is a big month. I have 9 books on my list for March, y'all. 9. It's a lot. First up is one that I know a lot of people are highly anticipating, This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Ilona Andrews. This is being published by Tor. It is their first fantasy novel coming out with Tor. She'll rewrite their story no matter how many times it kills her. Outlander meets Game of Thrones in this blockbuster new epic fantasy series. I'm really excited. Ilona Andrews is the name for a husband-wife writing duo that have written so many paranormal romances and different things over the years, and I'm really excited to see what they do with this book. Also coming out in March is Aisha by Soraya Bouzaoui. I'm sorry if I butchered that last name. This is based on Moroccan folklore, I believe. Temptress, Monster, Warrior, the story of Morocco's warrior goddess, her strange magic, fierce rebellion, and devastating romance. This debut weaves an epic tale of female rage and hidden myths, perfect for fans of The City of Brass and The Stardust Thief. Sounds so good. This one is coming out from Orbit next year. Also coming out in March is Her Hidden Fire by, I think I'm gonna get this name wrong again, Clona O'Sullivan. I know Irish names are like spelled real different from how they're pronounced, so excuse my pronunciation. How far would you go to empower the one you love? In a world where dragons soar through the skies and magical abilities are an elite privilege, the ruling family of Aelm's Keep is on a knife edge. Can their son Eonin prove that he can channel magic, or will his entire family be cast out in disgrace? A servant girl who loves him is shocked to discover shortly before his test that she can wield magic herself. It's extremely rare for a girl to have this talent, and it certainly never happens outside the few great families. At Eonin's moment of truth, when it's clear he's about to fail, she makes a desperate gamble to save him from humiliation by pretending her magic is his, forfeiting her own claim to power. Her decision sends them both to an academy of magic where she must shield her secret from every grim master and scheming apprentice, especially the handsome but enigmatic Gry. Anyway, this sounds really fun, really interesting. So we've got dragons, we've got magic, we've got a magical academy. This is a YA fantasy novel and definitely one I'm interested in picking up. Then we have a YA dystopian novel called The Danger of Small Things by Carol Lewis. This is set in a world where bees are at risk of extinction, and it looks like it has kind of Handmaid's Tale vibes, but YA. It looks interesting. It's what I want to read. Seasons of Glass and Iron by Amal El-Motar. This is a short story collection coming out through Tor. I think that her writing is really gorgeous, and I'm excited to pick this one up. I think I have a copy on its way to me right now from Tor, so definitely expect to see this one on my TBR. Nobody's Baby by Olivia Waite. Very excited for this. It is the second novella in a sapphic sci-fi murder mystery series. I loved the first one and I'm really excited for the second one. So mysteries set in space. We've got a sci-fi twist to it, sapphic main character. I think this is going to be delightful. Then there's The Beasts We Raise by D.L. Taylor. This is the second book in a duology. I really liked the first one. I thought it was well done. It's YA fantasy / romantasy. Marry her enemy, save her realm, forsake her heart. This is the heart-shattering conclusion to this dark romantasy duology, and I will for sure be reading it. Also coming out in March is Green and Deadly Things by Jen Lyons. This is being called a page-turning standalone fantasy of necromancy and magical mayhem. Excited for this. I really like Jen Lyons' work and this cover looks great. Last book for March is another short story collection. This is River of Bones and Other Stories by Rebecca Roanhorse. I haven't really read a lot of short stories by her, but I like her books a lot and I'm excited we're getting something from her. This has a short story set in the world of, I can't think what it's called, but her sort of like dystopian paranormal romance type series that she wrote 2 books in. This has a short story set in this world as well as others. It's one that I want to pick up. Moving on to April, we've got 3 books coming out that are on my radar right now. First is To Kill These Monstrous Gods by Molly X. Chang. This is the second book in a series of a magical epic fantasy where a young woman must navigate treacherous wartime alliances as she secretly reunites with her childhood crush, all while harnessing her power over death in a daring bid to save her realm. I thought the first book was really well done and really interesting. I would like to pick up the second one as well, and we've got that coming out in April. Also coming out in April is The Bloody and the Damned by Becca Coffin-Daffer. A wisecracking assassin with magical abilities will do anything to get their kidnapped sisters back in this dystopic fantasy standalone. I'm here for it. I love a queer badass assassin. We've got like a sci-fantasy world. It sounds like a lot of fun. And then lastly for April is one that I have already pre-ordered. This is Our Rogue Fates by Sarah Glenn Marsh. This is pitched as gay Lord of the Rings. What if Sam and Frodo had adventures and fell in love? And I am absolutely here for it. I want to read this one very soon. I love Sarah's writing. I feel like she is one of the most tragically underhyped authors with her YA work, incredible writing, and this is her adult fantasy romance debut. I think it's going to be great. Looking forward to it. Moving on to May, we've got 6 books on my list. First is one I've been waiting for a couple of years now, The Tapestry of Fate by Shannon Chakraborty. This is the long-awaited sequel to The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi. Set sail into her second adventure as her quest to track down magical artifacts brings her to the island lair of a sorceress whose woven enchantments are impossible to flee. I really love the first book. It's drawing on Arab mythology and history, and I also really appreciate that it gives us an older heroine, a middle-aged heroine who is a mother, something a little different from what we usually get in fantasy, and I am sure this is going to be great. Of course, on this list is A Long and Speaking Silence by Nevo. This is the next installment in the Singing Hills series, which I love. It is a series of fantasy novellas, East Asian inspired, featuring a non-binary cleric main character, Cleric Chi, and this one is a throwback. We're taking a story from early in Cleric Chi's career, so a young Chi. I don't know much else than that, but these are always great and I will for sure read it. Another highly anticipated book coming out in May that I want to read sooner than later is Seek the Traitor's Son by Veronica Roth. I am real excited about this. It's the start of a new series. 2 women on opposite sides of a war, one prophecy shared between them, the man that can tip the scales. I really enjoy Veronica Roth stuff. I also think she is not afraid to rip your heart out, which I like. I like that in a writer. So I feel like this is going to be great. I had the opportunity to meet her and talk with her about the book. Thanks to Tor, they invited me to this breakfast with her, and this book sounds really good. The Arcane Arts by S.D. Coverley looks like fun. I do love a dark academia novel, and this one is a thrilling and sensuous fantasy from the pseudonymous duo S.D. Coverley, a new novel of forbidden magic and dark academia where a student and a professor's thrall for each other proves irresistible as they tempt fate with the practice of the arcane arts. Sounds like fun. I definitely want to give it a try. Also coming out in May, we have Platform Decay by Martha Wells. This is the next installment in the Murderbot Diaries. Yes, we're getting more Murderbot. I can't wait. I know nothing about what this is. They're all sort of different subgenres. We've had a murder mystery, we've had a thriller, we've had all these different things, but Platform Decay, Murderbot is returning, and I am fundamentally here for it. And lastly for May is a chunker of a fantasy novel that sounds really good. This is The Rain Shadow Orphans by Naomi Ishiguro. This is the first novel in a dazzling fantasy trilogy inspired by Japanese folklore and Studio Ghibli films like Spirited Away. Set within a mythical archipelago brimming with dragons and sun spirits, high-tech hackers, and bubble tea. It's got potential. It looks beautiful. So I'm definitely interested in giving this one a try. All right, moving on to June, there are 3 books coming out in June that are on my radar currently. Obviously, this is not an exhaustive list. There are books that I'm expecting to get sequels in series next year. They're just not announced yet. Like, I'm expecting we might get a sequel to Red City or to The Raven Scholar. Like, hopefully we may get things like that. Just none of it's been announced, so this is just the things that we for sure know are happening. But I do have a copy of The Children by Melissa Albert. This sounds so good and so up my alley. I asked my friend who works at this publisher, I was like, hey, any chance you have a copy of this, because I really want to read it. An intoxicating, haunting new novel in which the estranged adult children of a legendary author, written into their dead mother's beloved fantasy series, contend with the vine-like creep of legacy, memory, and magic. So this one is going to be more magical realism, which is usually what Melissa Albert writes, but I've heard nothing but great things about this so far. The cover is really gorgeous. I'll put a picture here of what it looks like. I'm very excited to pick it up. Also coming out in June is one that I am very curious to give a try to. This is The Secret World of Briar Rose by Cindy Pham of YouTube fame. Our very own Cindy is writing a novel, a lush and immersive queer sleeping beauty retelling about escapism, grief, and dreaming of a better world. That sounds great. The cover is beautiful. I definitely want to give this one a try. Lastly, for June, we have The Shape of Monsters. Why did I not write the author's name? A talented heretic and the emperor she both loathes and loves will learn what monsters are really made of in the second installment of the Moon Heresies trilogy. I should have written this down. Like, which series is this? Honestly, I don't remember, but editing me will know, and I will give you my input here. But editing Bethany here. Yeah, so this is by Tessa Gratton, and I think if I had written the author name down, I would have known this is the sequel to The Mercy Makers. There's not a cover for it yet, but I loved The Mercy Makers. I've recommended this to a lot of people, even in person. It's like a sapphic political fantasy with court politics and complex religious stuff going on. It's steamy, but not a romance. And the first book was fantastic, so I definitely want to read book 2. Lastly, I do have one book coming out in July that's on my radar. It's another sequel in a novella series. This is Null Entity by Seth Haddon. This is the sequel to his bloody and sapphic volatile memory, which was really interesting. Sapphic, trans, kind of weird futuristic sci-fi novella. In this, the main characters take their revenge to the very corporation keeping the galaxy turning. I didn't know we were getting a sequel, but I will read the sequel because the first one was really good. So there you go. Those are the 26 sci-fi and fantasy books currently on my TBR. It's definitely a lot more fantasy than sci-fi. I wish I had more sci-fi on my radar, so hopefully we'll get a little bit more, but I feel like we've got a pretty solid showing mix of adult and YA titles. Now, if you're watching this and you feel like, oh, you missed some really like big books and those books are romantasy, fear not, because those will be coming in a separate video that will be romance and romantasy. This is stuff that leans more heavily fantasy, maybe romantic fantasy, but not romantasy specifically. Romantasy I'm putting in my romance video, so stay tuned for that. But talk to me in the comments down below. If you reached this point in the video, leave me a dragon or spaceship emoji since we're doing sci-fi fantasy books. And for your question of the day, I would love to hear, what is a book that you are really anticipating coming out in 2026? Maybe it's something that I mentioned, maybe it's something that is on your list that's not on my list that I need to know about. Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, it always helps if you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.